just really briefly, because this is so important, tell you what the 5 major reasons for deconstructing are that I found among
Please.
MKs. I'll go really fast. The
No,
first
no,
is
take your time.
okay. The first is suffering harm in Christian settings. So MKs are not protected from the hard things that happen in anyone's life anywhere in the world. And they might experience abuse, they might experience trauma, they might experience it within their own families on the mission field or within their mission communities. So experiencing hard things while serving God and giving everything for God will have them wonder if God is actually paying attention to them, especially when it happens at the hands of other Christians. The second is, and I mentioned it before, witnessing hypocrisy in Christian spaces, people who are different behind closed doors than they are on a podium, people who preach something that they don't live out. That's going to be something that makes them seriously question if these people are spirit led and followers of Jesus. What does this tell me about the authenticity of faith? Global empathy is another one. If they have lived in places where they have seen decimation or poverty to the point of people dying of hunger, where they have seen this, why isn't God stepping in? If he claims to love people, why isn't he stepping in to save these people on a global scale that I have known and that I love? The fourth is faith used to gain power, specifically political power. They're very attuned to that as well, and maybe misused to that end. And then a desire for authenticity. Because they so despise hypocrisy, they don't want to be a hypocrite who's saying one thing and pretending one thing while internally not being sure of these words they're saying. Because again, we live into the should of, you should be able to lead somebody to Christ when you're 10 years old. So, but what if I don't actually, and this was me, what if I don't actually believe maybe that God exists? And if he exists, is he good? And yet I am telling people about Jesus and hoping to lead them to him. So those are the 5 main kind of knee-jerk moments that might make a TCK reconsider the faith of his or her parents.
Oh, thank you for laying those out. Those are huge. And if we don't learn as adults to sit with the tension of that, because I think the tendency out of fear that our kids are going to walk away from the faith is that we minimize that. Yeah. We're like, oh, it's just because of this, or oh, it's not that, or oh, it's not that. And I learned as somebody who used to minimize all the time because I just needed positivity and harmony in my life. Yes. It felt easier to just shut them down with like, everything's okay, or here's a scripture verse, and what we don't realize is when we minimize, we cause them to maximize, and they're going to do that either externally or internally. So they're either going to fight back against you and go harder to prove their point, or they're just going to look at you and smile, but they're not going to be absorbing what you're saying. They're just going to keep thinking it until it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And one day, suddenly they're not walking with the Lord, and you're like, where did that come from?
When in fact, they might not be not walking with the Lord. They might have thrown the baby Jesus out with the bathwater. They just don't want this anymore. And that is synonymous to faith in their minds. And they're missing the Jesus in the middle of it all because we're so preoccupied with the stuff on the outsides.
Hey, missionary friends, we are so glad you joined us today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you'll be the first to know when a new episode drops. And click like and comment below. We love hearing what's resonating with you and what you'd like to hear more of.